practice তুমি দেখলে কি দেখলে হ্যাঁ
I will. আমি শুরু করব।
Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. Today we are in Nottingham. We are covering the practice of matchday -1 India versus England women. With me is of course Debashish Sen. Debashish, this is you have been to this ground. This is my first time in Nottingham. How does it feel, and how does it feel covering women's cricket?
Yeah, obviously it feels great, Trisha. Obviously, having covered cricket for almost 2 decades, but mostly in women's cricket. But this is my second big opportunity to be covering an Indian women's cricket practice session, and I'm thrilled and I'm honored to be given this opportunity by Red Sports and Boriada, and you also. You obviously you are someone who has followed women's cricket very closely. Yes, it gives me goosebumps to come and visit the Trent Cricket Ground. Means obviously this is some ground where I have great memories. Obviously, India winning that series in 2007. It was at the same ground when India went on to win that Test match, and eventually they won the series. And since then, we have won Test matches in England, but not a series. Yes, obviously talking back about another Test win in 2018, Virat Kohli and Hardik Pandya played tremendously well to get us a win. So these are the fine memories, but definitely I'm looking forward to getting inside and capturing when Smriti Mandhana, the likes of Smriti Mandhana, Shafali Verma, and others practice.
Absolutely. We'll begin this live by saying that there is one unfortunate news that Harmanpreet Kaur is unwell. In fact, if Neil, who's doing the back end, can show the arrival shots, because the Indian women's team has just arrived for their practice session. So what happened was the morning session was taken by the England women's team, and then the afternoon session was taken by the Indian women is taken by the Indian women's team. So when we are doing the live here, I know it's 5 p.m. in India, but actually it's 12:37 in England, and just the England team's practice has finished. So Neil, can you get the arrival shots ready, please? Devashish, there is the T20 World Cup, because the T20 series is first and then the ODI series. The ODI World Cup, of course, is in India. So it's kind of, it's not the same, playing ODIs here. But T20s is very significant, this experience, because this is where you play the T20 World Cup in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely, Trisha. You make a very valid point. Obviously, this is kind of a dress rehearsal for the Indian women's team, given that they would be coming back to England next year to take part in that T20 World Cup. Yes, and in that context, these 5 matches will give them a fair idea about the conditions, the pitches, what it is going to be like for the World Cup. Yes. If you can please excuse me.
Yeah. It's very windy here. That's why right now as we speak, actually the England women's team will leave. There, Radha Yadav saying a hi to me, and all of them were here and they were saying hi, because let me tell you something. There are 4 security people. Of course, the entire team is there, and there are 2 media persons. That's you and me.
Yes, and this is where we are different from other media organizations. Obviously, nothing against them.
Yeah.
But see, Boriada and we at Rep Sports, and Boriada has means categorically, he has always emphasized on a holistic coverage. It's not about that the Indian men's team is playing here in England. Yes, Indian men's team did have a closed door training session at the Edgbaston ground, where we have our men there. Means with all Shubhaya and Rohit and Amit is all 3 of them are there. Means covering the Indian men's training session. But we have taken a train all the way from Birmingham to Nottingham just to cover the Indians' women team practice. And obviously, as we speak, we see the England the women's team leaving after their training session. But as I said, Trisha, it's a great thing. And remember, this is the first time that an international women's T20 international will be played at this ground. So that itself makes the occasion great. Yes, and hopefully we would like to see Smriti Mandhana and the girls and the women's team do well.
Absolutely. I think when you speak of, because we are speaking of Smriti Mandhana, in Harman's absence, even in Harman's presence, I think Smriti is obviously one of the biggest wickets. So let's dissect the England practice session, because as I said, that, and as you can see in the screen, that the Indian women's team has just arrived. This arrival shots is about what, 10 minutes before, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes before we started the live, right after the Indian women's team arrived.
We want clip. As we speak, we have two elderly people coming, so that we have to make way for them. So please bear with us. We will be joining
Yes.
in a few seconds. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Talking about Smriti Mandhana, Issy Wong in one of the nets was actually doing channel bowling, and the angle was very interesting. These are things that you pick up when you come for practice sessions, because plans are made in the practice session. So she was coming round the wicket, but she was starting her run up right behind the umpire, where the umpire would stand, and she was trying to end at a very diagonal angle, so that, of course, she was practicing the left-handed. Sorry, there's some question. Trisha is my favorite person. Oh, that's not a question. That's a very, very nice compliment. Thank you. So, as I said, the channel was such that it will end at Smriti Mandhana's middle stump, because we know that the moment it's leg stump, she's very smooth with the leg side
Flick,
shots.
yeah.
Absolutely. But when it's middle stump and it's hitting middle stump every single time, in between the in swingers, if she bowls an out swinger, does it's very difficult, the setup hole. So Issy Wong was actually practicing that, because Devashida Smriti Mandana will be their most important wicket.
Yeah, obviously means now that Harmanpreet will be missing the first T20 internationals, obviously huge responsibility on the part of Smriti Mandhana, and obviously for India to do well, to make a winning start, you need a fair contribution from the openers at the start. Means obviously therein lies the role of Smriti Mandhana being the captain now that she will be leading the side. You need a bigger contribution means from Smriti. Yes, we saw a few days back Shubman Gill making a great debut for India with his captaincy, scoring 100 in the first innings. So we would like to see a great contribution from Smriti as well, Trisha.
Absolutely, and I think captaincy, Neil, if you can get the England practice session visuals from Sneha Shish and just play them. Absolutely, Devashish, that when you're the captain of the team and you are also the number one batter in every sense of the term, so you have to put up that, and you are an opener, so you have to set the tone of the whole match, so that in 2026 you never know whether Harman will play or not, because today morning itself, Devashish, that we were discussing about her
Yes.
knee injury and knee, See, the ODI World Cup is extremely important. So I won't be surprised if she picks and chooses matches that she plays in the T20 I series. And Snehachish and I have previously discussed about this same thing, that, what matters right now is the ODI World Cup, and your ODI captain is
And
Harmanpreet
more so
Kaur.
given that it is being played at home. So there will be
Absolutely.
huge expectations from the fans. Means obviously, playing a World Cup at home, you have to means obviously the expect there will be pressure, there will be expectations, but to come out of that and to win that World Cup is all that means. Obviously, it will be a huge boost for the women's team, given that
Yes.
they have faltered, they have failed to cross the last hurdle. So I think it will be very important, huge moment means of if Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti Mandhanas go on to win the women's World Cup at home.
And let me remind you, 2025 has been about teams that have not won the,
RCB.
that's an RCB cap as well. But when you speak about RCB, one player that England will miss. See, that's the channel I was talking about. Issy Wong coming round the wicket and trying to target the middle stump. Yes, you can say India has left-handers in Deepti Sharma. India has left-handers in Yastika Bhatia, but we all know that it's Smriti Mandhana, who's absolutely sure that she's going to play, and obviously Wong is going to take the new ball most probably. From new ball to let's talk about England's new captain coach.
Yes.
The combination is dangerous. Charlotte Edwards and Natsiver Brunt. Charlotte Edwards as a captain, as a player, absolutely excellent. And as a coach for Mumbai Indians,
We were having a discussion where we were traveling. Obviously, huge challenge given that Heather Knight and obviously John Lewis did not do well. So it's and obviously so England will be looking up to this new coach and captain, to give them a winning start, and to be winning a series against England. They need just to lift. Obviously, England and Australia, we know, they are going to be the one of the two of the favorites as far as the World Cup next year is the next T20 World Cup next year is concerned. Obviously, England will be playing at home at their own backyard. So I think yes, and these five matches, not only for India to try and gauge the atmosphere, the conditions here, but so much so it is also important for the England team. Obviously, there will be huge expectations for them as well. So let's see. Obviously, all we want is to. They would also be hoping for a winning start.
absolutely, and they did exceedingly well against West Indies. But then, we
It's,
were
you,
discussing.
you were saying that it was all about Haley Matthews because
Absolutely. Snehashish and I keep saying that it's Haley Matthews versus whatever team is playing West Indies. So, unfortunately, that's not a real test, if you say. But India is the real test for England, regrouping England, to be very honest. And when you're talking about Nat Brandt, the captain, of course, we have to talk about her batting. She's one of the most dangerous batters, and not only dangerous batters in Mumbai Indians. Obviously, you have
I would say more than her batting, it's her all round ability. Means more than a batter's the contributions with the ball. I think she's a very complete cricketer in world cricket, and so I think it will be a huge task. Now that she has been given the role of captaincy,
yes.
so England will look up to some inspiration from Nat Shiverbrand.
Absolutely, and it's very interesting that see what happens when you get somebody as experienced as Charlotte Edwards, and when I say experienced in women's game, nothing against Amol Mazumdar or any of the men's coaches, but unfortunately or fortunately, cricket, yes, it's the same, but women's cricket and men's cricket are not the same sport. I mean,
Yes.
equality is different. That you should give equal opportunities, but they're not the same sport. So the way Charlotte Edwards understands women's cricket, of course, most others wouldn't. And what she has done is she has now put in this, unsaid rule that Natsiver Brunt will not bowl in T20Is this year till the World Cup, because they want her completely fit for the ODI World Cup. It's not like she's unfit, but they want to manage her workload. Being the England captain, of course, she cannot take rest. So she will not be bowling much. She will be batting. And today, in fact, she was taking a lot of throwdowns. In between, she hit one of the England teammates, trying to hit a six straight to the non-striker's helmet. But what form she's in! Hitting the the nutmeg, a very famous shot, but dangerous batter. I mean, all round abilities, yes, but even when she's not bowling, her fielding, forget about leadership, her batting. I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is what you expect from your captain, means to be leading from the front, and that is what England will be hoping, means ahead of the T20 World Cup next year. But I would say, Trisha, obviously this England team it will be a force to reckon with as far as playing at home is concerned. Yes, India. Obviously, it will be a huge confidence booster if they go on to win a series from here. But as I say, that it will in England will be a difficult opposition.
Absolutely, and I think the other part is even in ODIs, I don't think it'll be easy for India to beat England, or for that matter, for any team to beat England now. In fact, I have already said that I do think that চিকার মেসেজ করছে না। তুমি বলতে থাকো কিছু একটা।
Yeah, obviously we would expect that the Indian team put up a very inspiring performance, and that is all what you want because. Ideally, if India can make a winning start to this five-match T20I series, that will give them a huge confidence. And obviously, it's a setback sign kind of a thing with Harmanpreet Kaur missing the first T20 international. But having said that, India does have the firepower in batting, obviously, to counter the England attack. But it will be a real challenge as far as this first T20 international is concerned. Yes, as we speak, we will be covering the Indian practice session in a few minutes from now. But before that, we will be seeing we will be attending the press conference, pre-match press conference by Smriti Mandhana as well. And yes, a huge challenge, huge role for Smriti Mandhana being the captain in the absence of Harmanpreet.
Dress rehearsal. I think it's dress rehearsal, and I do think that I don't know exactly what is. We still don't know what is exactly wrong with Harmanpreet, but in the long run, of course, I think Harmanpreet might have to choose between formats because if she wants to play longer, and also somewhere I do think that Smriti is your vice captain. She's going to be the captain next. She has to get used to the format. We know that there are matches when under pressure Smriti does not perform, and that is where these kinds of series, bilateral series, when you are captain, it becomes all the more important because that is where you take the pressure, and yet you know how to, you start taking that experience of how to deal with it. So talking about the rest of the rest of the practice in England practice session, of course, Sophie Eccleston is back. Somebody who will be extremely important in Indian conditions. Sophie Eccleston and Sarah Glenn, the spin duo, I think will be extremely important in the ODI World Cup. Of course, in the T20 World Cup also. I mean, Sophie Eccleston is your wicket taker and main bowler who was out because of injury. A sort of comeback for her, important for India.
And also, Trisha, I would like to add one thing is that I am looking forward to that challenge, that battle between Alice Capsey and Sriti Mandana.
Absolutely.
Someone, Sriti, we all know she has had a great season last season, scoring almost what 1700 runs. But when you talk about Alice Capsey, she has had the better against Sriti. Means obviously getting.
Yes, of course, because Smriti, in the beginning of especially in T20s, in the beginning, she has a problem facing off spinners, which is where Alice Capsey becomes very significant. In fact, the moment we came in, the first person we saw batting was Alice Capsey against Sophie Eccleston, but of course against Smriti, it'll be very interesting to see if Nat Siver-Brandt, and in fact, you know what, Devashish, I won't be surprised if Lauren Bell starts from one end and Alice Capsey starts from the
Yeah,
other end.
as you speak about Lauren Bell, obviously huge challenge for Shafali Verma
Oh,
at the
yes.
start.
Yes.
Obviously, how she counters her, how good a start she keeps along with Sriti Mandana will help. We can actually see India putting up a big total. Means if they gets going, we know what they can do on their day.
Absolutely, and Debashish, the Shafali won't have great memories of England because this is
Right.
where in-form Shafali was found out by Catherine Brunt. Bowling short to her, getting her bowled because she started second guessing. This is a second chapter for Shafali Verma, a more matured Shafali Verma. What happens? How does she deal? Because of course, I think the moment Shafali comes on the strike, Lauren Bell is going to bowl at her body, bowl short. Will Shafali get into that position? Will she play the pull? Will she leave it? All these things will matter, and especially the fact that when this is where kind of your first innings had ended, because Shafali had started on an all-time high, and then England happened, and then suddenly Shafali got all lost, worked hard, made a comeback, and you're back to England for your first comeback series. You do not want that to go wrong at all, because she's out of the ODI
Yes, he's not in the
setup.
not. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. And you don't know, I mean, whether she'll be called back in ODIs, because there is a small possibility, I feel, given the fact that in the practice match, Shafali was asked to open the batting in I mean, in the one day game. So I think there are chances that she can make a comeback, but I do think that also depends completely on how she plays the T20 matches here.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously we know means what Shafali on her day can do. Means, and given that she's a very aggressive player, means obviously all you need is kind of a momentum and form going. And obviously, if she gets going in this 5 match T20I series, that will do a world of good as far as confidence is concerned. And I think yes, as you rightly said, you want a Shafali Verma to be playing in that World Cup at home, because yes, yes, he was dropped from the ODI squad in this series, but one good series against England in the this T20 series might just get her back into that ODI format.
Absolutely, and I think ultimately, even I mean, whether it's men's cricket or women's cricket, we have been talking about this, ever since Virat Kohli has retired. That you generally need names which attract, and women's cricket needs that more. And Shafali is someone who's a huge name in the Indian cricket fan base. So I think it is very significant that Shafali scores here. But we have to end the live here, because we have to go
Indian
out.
press conference, the pre-match
Yes.
press conference is about to start in a few minutes from now.
Before ending, I will just quickly tell you the pointers. First is Harmanpreet is unwell, and matchday -1 press conference will be done by Smriti Mandhana. That almost seals the fact that tomorrow Harmanpreet is not playing. What has exactly happened to her? We'll try asking Smriti, but if you go by how players answer now, I mean, she's just going to say probably that, oh, she's okay, she'll be fine, or something of that sort. But she's definitely not playing tomorrow, match day -1, if she's unwell, and she has not even come for the practice. So that's that, and we will obviously come back after the Indian
Practice session is
practice
complete.
session. That will end around 4:30 our time, which means 4:39.
No, we have a live at 7 p.m. Indian time.
Oh,
We
okay.
have a live at 7 p.m. Indian time. So we are at 1 p.m. So in 1.5 hours from now, we will be again doing a live.
Okay, done. By then we'll get some juicy.
We'll have a
news
fair
from-
idea, the press conference, the practice
Absolutely.
pointers. Yes, we'll be sharing all the videos and the still photographs. Yes, that's the reason we are here. Yes, and that's the reason because she is my boss now.
Not at
Obviously,
all.
because she will be guiding me, because this is my first time covering an Indian women's team practice session. So looking forward to some exciting times ahead, and keep watching this space, Trisha. Yes, do follow Rep Sports global platform, and also across all other platforms. Yes, so
Absolutely. I'm super excited. Let's go and ask Smriti Mandhana some questions, and of course get to the practice session. Then come back and tell you guys what else we have seen. Thinking of informing Smriti Mandhana of what Issy Wong is planning against her. Let's see what she has to say. Thank you so much, guys.